I still think working with machines is better because they speak less. Do a little bit extra than what is taught. It's not just the curriculum, the story is also about you. I'm Abhimanyu from the 2017-18 HRLP batch at Soil. I'm currently working with Noise in their HR team. I did my MBA from Soil because of Anil sir, to be very honest. I had known this earlier that he was part of the team at Aisha, where significant corporate changes and corporate initiatives to improve the general health of the organization when he was taking care of the team at Aisha. And knowing that he had started an institute of his own was the real exciting factor. That's how I ended up at Soil. My experience at Soil was something that I didn't expect, honestly. It was very holistic, it was beyond the books, it was more than just the classroom. It was an exciting morning every day to come to the morning circle and then get excited about how is the day going to be. There was a different kind of a spark given to the employees, to the students every day for them to take control of their day, and that was a very fulfilling feeling. I think we evolve as human beings all the time. Soil was that power pack of improvisations, the changes, and embrace the good side of you and discover the potential in you, sort of a game changer for that 1 year. It gave a very holistic perspective where I was not just focusing on the education, I was also focusing on self leadership. For me, one of the biggest lessons that I took away from Soil was self leadership. We also had specific classes on it, but the general theme, the general way of doing things at Soil was in line with self leadership for me. So I've largely worked with startups. I am a mechanical engineer. I worked on machines, made machines, then decided to do HR, started working with people. I still think working with machines is better because they speak less. Jokes apart, I think it's been great. I've been working with Noise for about 3 years. Being part of a startup, the organization was about 70, 80 people at the time I joined them, and we grew to about 450 people. It was especially exciting because new things were happening every day. Change initiatives were coming into place every day. They continue to do so. And the experience at Soil actually helped me embrace those changing moments, understand those changes from a holistic perspective, wherein we're not targeting one particular agenda, but how does that impact the organization? That perspective was especially special for me to grow in my career. I think being adaptable to that particular organization. In corporate, I think there are tons and tons of organizations. And yes, certain specific industries require a certain specific skill set. However, every organization in the same industry is also different as how they operate. So, for an employee to adapt to the nuances of the organization by means of understanding what the organization is. It's just like any home. Every home is different. Every home has different set of rules with which they play, different reasons of excitement, different reasons which they consider as productive reasons. And the same is with organizations. I think one needs to be able to adapt and understand what is the system being the organization that they are in. I think Soil is different with whole systems perspective. There were a few courses that we had during our batch, like design thinking, whole systems thinking, self leadership. These were not necessarily the usual curriculum of a B school, and that is what especially helped us as students to face the real world. It's all right what's there in the books, it's also there on various internet platforms. But the understanding which I gained for myself, of myself, that is what I think helped me strongly in the world that I went to after completing my HRLP program at Soil. I think mindfulness was a value that I heard for the very first time at Soil. There was mindfulness in my life before Soil, but the emphasis which was laid on mindfulness to me especially rang a bell in my head and made me realize that how in every moment me being mindful helps not just myself but also the other person, and that brings those people on the same page. So yes, I think mindfulness is a value that I carry very deeply with myself. I think the piece of advice that I would want to give students at Soil or people aspiring to join Soil is do a little bit extra than what is taught. Try and identify yourselves in the entire gambit of things. It's not just the curriculum, the story is also about you. You need to discover yourself in that entire journey where you go through case studies, you go through different courses, different faculties, and different set of students who will be learning along with you. A little bit of emphasis on one's own self to understand their own selves and be in stride of self leadership is how successfully you can feel about yourself at the end of the program. For you to have successful employment, it is important to understand the organization that you're in. So do your research about the organization, connect with people on LinkedIn, speak to them, check Glassdoor, check Ambition Box, try and be industry wise and not book wise, because when you're sitting for that placement, you're not going to be necessarily gauged for how well you know your lessons, but it is going to be how well do you know the organization, because they are there to decide whether you're a good fit or not.